And Matthias, can you go maybe back where your first journey as a coach started and what shaped you in the role you're right now? And what are you doing also right now?
Yeah, let me think about it. Oh, of course. I think my journey started 11 years ago, more or less. It was an adventure because I was already a soccer player next to it, and I went to a new club and I want to have a certain salary. And they told me, we don't have the money for you as a player, but you can do a double role. And we offer you a youth team from us under 16. And yeah, this was my first journey, my first step into the coaching business. I always wanted to start as a coach and to work as a coach, but never planned when I was a real athlete. But then I got the under 16. It was a really low quality. It was, I think, the worst team in the whole club. Just 11 players and bad structures, no assistant coach and stuff like that. Yeah, and then I put a little structure in it, and we got really successful. So I took a second year and I retired as a player because I felt more the coaching stuff. And so I told to myself, I want to work in the professional environment. So let's start as a coach as soon as possible. Did a second year there, then it was really successful again. And afterwards, I went to academy first time as an assistant coach in the under 14 and second team of a pro level team. Worked there as an assistant coach, head coach, and then they offered me the first women's team. I had no touching points with women's teams at all, and I decided, yeah, let's do it. It was a team SV Horn in Austria, a big team in the second league, and they had the ambition to um, jump one league up to the first league, and yeah, we achieved it in the first year. So very successful again. And yeah, from this point on, it went up and up and up. The coaching stuff went bigger and bigger. Um, so yeah, and right now I'm in Leipzig, RB, Red Bull, under 17 head coach of a women's team from this July on. Yeah, very a big adventure. But it makes a lot of fun, and of course the responsibility and the pressure, it's going up. It's normal. But yeah, that was my journey. So started from the bottom and tried to climb up every single year to progress and yeah, to prove myself.
Amazing. Amazing. Like what interests me like a lot is you started with a team, you were like no structure at all, and they were so bad. What were like the biggest lessons you learned like in this time? Because it was not nice. What would you change there, like that they had like success?
Wow, I think when I think back, I learned a lot of patience. So it was an environment. It's hard to describe. It was low level football of 15-year-old boys. Um, they didn't have any ambitions in football, but they like to play football. So I always was a player, um, very focused, talented, role model a bit, a leader. So I tried to give them leadership in terms of structure, in terms of discipline, in terms of good training sessions. And we all realized that the training sessions makes a lot of fun, first of all, because they were really creative. I tried to think about exercises, create own exercises. So the exercises were a lot of fun. They developed in a good way. And after 2, 3 months, we had good results suddenly. No one's, we didn't know why, but it happened. And then the other boys or friends of my players, they heard about, hey, there is a under 16 and a new coach, and it's nice there. And suddenly we had requirements from other players to join our team. And then we had, after 6 months, 15 players and then 16, 17 players. So with the structure, with, I don't know, good training sessions, not we explored from 2 sessions per week to four, first three, then four, but without pressure. So when you don't have time, it's not a big deal. So you can join if you are free. So like this, and then the when the results are positive and in a good way, it makes more fun, of course. And but it's yeah, it needs a lot of patience and motivation, intrinsic motivation as well. So yeah, it was a learning, a good learning progress, really.
Mm. Yeah, very interesting. Like, especially the part where you say like patience is so important.
Mm,
And as you describing your own career ladder, how you went up, I think there's also a lot of patience in your own career, very important. And that lead you also to like these positions where you're right now. How
mm.
was the transitioning from men's football to women's football?
Ooh, yeah. At the beginning, I didn't realize, or I didn't feel any difference. I got the job opportunity in winter, so it was during the season already, and it was with a random head coach. I joined there as an assistant coach, and I had no touching points at all to women's football. And I said, okay, I don't care if they perform and if they train well, so it makes no big difference for me. But then after time, of course, you realize there is a difference because I'm a very, yeah, not a hard coach, but for me, performance and discipline is means a lot. So you need to give 100%, otherwise you will not achieve good results. And with this background, when I came to the women's team, of course, in the training sessions, fun is okay, and it hopefully we have a lot of fun because we all love football. But during the exercises, we want to focus and we want to concentrate. And then I'm a perfectionist, so that's the second thing. And these two attributes in women's football can make things very complicated. So, of course, I have the drills in my head, so it needs to run perfect and with excellence. And then you see, okay, maybe why? You don't know the reason, it doesn't work, and then you need to adapt your coaching style because in the
Mm,
normally I'm really focus and very strict and very direct, and with women's it's very hard to speak directly in a sharp way. You know what I mean?
mm,
So this is for me, or this was for me the main difference at the beginning, so that you need to be very I don't know how to describe sensitive in terms of talking, in
mm,
terms of what are you talking to a player in front of other players? And then, of course, women, they like to ask questions. Why do we do this? Why this tactic, this, that? Yeah, so you need to be very clear and yeah, I don't know how to say, very confident to to regulate your exercises and your tactics and your yeah, you have to be
mm.
safe in your
Yeah.
thoughts because otherwise they
Mm,
they challenge you. And yeah, that was the main differences at the beginning. And of course, yeah, they need right now in women's football for in the youth football women's academy in RB Leipzig. I realized that the self-confidence is not that high compared to boys. So you need to give them good feedback every time. Yes, even if they don't perform, even if you're not satisfied with some performances, you need to push them. You need to say, hey, it's good, try again in a good way. Because
mm,
they need the positive environment. So this, I think that's all psychologic and yeah, things who are not on the pitch, but these are very important key factors. And the biggest point is the physical performance. Of course, they have lower muscles compared to guys, to boys, to men. So they are not that fast. The speed is quite lower. The intensity in one versus one situations is quite low. Not
Mm,
low, but lower than compared to men's football. So these are the key aspects. Let me resume. The intensity in terms of physical performance, the motivation, the self-confidence, and the questionnaires, the questionnaires from the player side.
mm. Yeah, that's very interesting. And you mentioned also like your own coaching style. Like for you, it's important. You're some kind of perfectionist, and discipline is very important. Why is discipline so important in the game of football?
I can remember when I went to the Santiago Bernabeu in the player tunnel. There is no I in team. I think there is a small banner like this, and it's because this is the perfect sentence. So you can just achieve success with the team. It's a team sport. It's no chess, it's no tennis, it's team. And the team makes it. It's like this. Of course, you have individual players who make outstanding stuff, but to defend, to score, to assist, everything, it just works with the team setting. And therefore, I'm so obsessed with the team. The team is in front of every single player, every time.
Mm, interesting. How would you train like a player who is lacking some kind of discipline? Like, how would you give him some motivation, or like, how is your structure to enhance his intrinsic motivation?
I think, first of all, the intrinsic motivation they all have because they play football, not it's not like in school that they have to go there. So they play because they love it. So it's a
Mm,
passion. So hopefully, I don't need to motivate someone to come to training sessions and to play. Hopefully. Sometimes they struggle, of course. They are all teenagers or players, adults. They have their own life. They are all human beings. So sometimes they struggle, and then you need to take care and to speak and to talk to them. Hey, what's the problem right now? How can I help you? How can I support you? Um, I try. I try at the beginning. It's difficult because when the team is new, they don't you don't know each other. But normally, I try to have a good connection to all players. Sometimes it's better. Sometimes it doesn't work that close. But in general, I try to have a really good relationship and to support. I'm not the instructor, so I do this and run to the left. No, I try to support. I try to give them tools and to support the journey, the journey from this season till the end. And yeah, a lot of talks, private talks, but even especially team talks are very, very important in my coaching style. And of course, the single roles of every player in the team. That's
mm,
very important. It's not that easy to define, but that every player knows you have a specific role in this team and in the dressing room. It's very important for the dynamic and for the harmony, in my point of view.
mm. Okay, yeah, that's powerful. I think a lot of coaches they underestimate these roles in these players because then they have like good players, but they don't know what to do, and it's
Mm.
like a chaos. How would you define these roles? You say it's difficult, but can you give some advices for young coaches? They are
Mm.
right now starting out, how they
Mm.
could see the roles.
Let's start with a simple exercise, for example. Um, you as a coach you realize what type of players you have in your team. You see it in training sessions who is, for example, a good communicator, so who talks in the sessions, in the exercises, during the exercises. Then you have players who are very good in organizing, For example, I came to Leipzig at the first training session. I had one player. She's my captain now. She organized everything with the balls and the bills, everything. So she organized. She helped to make a structure where to put the stuff and stuff like this. So you have different strengths and weaknesses of the players, and you see it as a coach. And then I try to play some games. For example, I let design the training sessions of them and make the player to a coach, for example. Then I make some communications games, some leadership games, maybe team building games, and all this together, you see what kind of character or what kind of character you have in the teams, who of these guys are able to take responsibility in the team. So are your, I would say, the leaders. And then you you also see players, maybe they are not the leaders and not the best of the with skills, but they're very focused and very team orientated. So these are very, very important members too.
Mm,
So all of this, uh, I try to use this in the first 1 to 4 weeks because this is a very, very important phase to create or to build a team. And yeah, so a mix of everything.
mm,
Put the responsibility to the players, see what kind of characters you have in the team, make communication skills, team building skills, exercises. Yeah. So in this spectrum.
amazing, amazing. I think that's like in my profession, like what they taught us in Real Madrid as a psychologist, that it's so important to do these things in the start, in the beginning, that you
Mm,
can have like the good foundation and build up. And the
mm,
things you mentioned, like it was like similar the structure, like you do like these exercises and you can use them, identify the different roles of them to observe. And
mm,
that's so important. You mentioned earlier also it's very important to motivate, for example, the players.
mm.
And for example, when they make mistakes, what would you say? How important are mistakes for development?
Very important. Ah, very important. I'm a kind of person, I don't say coach, I'm a kind of person who is a big fan of making mistakes. Um, it sounds like a phrase because a lot of coaches say stuff like this. You can, it's allowed to make mistakes and stuff like, but most of them they don't live it. And for me, like right now, I'm in the women's academy, so they are 16 years old, 15 years old, more or less. So how do they develop? They develop when they come in situations where they make a wrong decision. But the wrong decision in the same situation, maybe next week in the next game, creates a better situation, maybe because they recognize, hey, last time I did this and it was not successful, so I need to adapt. And to allow this, a lot of coaches, a lot of clubs, they put the focus on results. And I, luckily, I have a club who is not interested in results because we want to develop. I want to make them ready for the next step. Right now, it's the under 20, our second team, or maybe it's the first team in 2 to 3 years. So it needs to be allowed to make mistakes. And I always say that in the team speaks and the team talks in front of everyone. Hey, even I, as a coach, I make mistakes every day.
Mm,
And I try to define my mistakes. I said maybe the game plan was not right. Maybe I made a mistake to bring player A instead of player B. Or maybe my coaching was not good. Today, as an example, we always have the games at 11 a.m. And sometimes, also, I'm not a morning guy. I try to, I hate to speak in the morning. I need coffee, I need silence, and I need 2 to 3 hours to come in shape. But we have game at 11, so we meet at 7 a.m., more or less. And today I said to the players, it was after the game, hey, I don't know. I'm not satisfied with my team speak the last weeks, but it's in the morning. I don't have the motivation, I don't have the fire I need, or maybe you need, um, to motivate you more. It's fine, it's not worst, but when compared to a game when we play at 8 at night, well, I'm on fire. I'm completely there. But today I was like, yeah, maybe I need to find a strategy to be more focused and more shape to give you more motivation. So maybe I need to change that. It was not. I'm not satisfied with my performance today. I told them after the game. Of course, they don't agree. They don't say, "Nah, coach, you're right. Yeah, please give us more." But with this action, uh, I try to demonstrate them that nobody's perfect and everyone is makes a mistake, and
Mhm.
it's not a big deal. We should
Yeah.
allow them, and we should yeah we should allow that. That's the main point.
Yeah, I love that approach. Like especially very brave because I have a lot of coaches I worked with, and it's so hard to put you on that stadium and say like it was my fault. And
Mm,
sh- like coaching as a leader doesn't mean you're perfect. It means you can show vulnerability and take
mm,
responsibility. And I think that's the best way to show the players that they are allowed
mm,
also to take mistakes. And amazing, yeah, approach. I had one friend, he's like right now at Mainz 05, and he's like youth coach. And he told me that like he goes to the players and like 10 or 11, very young, and he say like,
mm,
you are allowed to make failures. Go
mm,
out. And he's like, it's so important because in their heads, they are, what happened when I make failure? Do I play next game? Or what they think. He's like,
mm,
don't focus on them. You are here to make failures. And it was so mind blowing for me that he was like, I'm so clear with these phrases that they kids can open and develop themselves.
mm,
And so important. You
mm,
mentioned also that, for example, like the in this industry, every results it has to be fast, right? Everybody
mm,
wants to win. How is your perspective on success, and how do you see the problematic also to achieving everything so fast?
mm. Good question. Yeah, football is about results, but you need to take in account that in youth football, it's not a straight line with success. It's like up and downs because they struggle with school, they struggle with education, they struggle what to do after school. So many things around. So I think successful development is like an up and down, and it should be allowed. And how do we define, or I define, what's development in our category? I would say making player better and making player ready for professional football. So we have certain key values for pro level football, especially now in women's football. We know that in our club, so we need to make them ready. And what I don't know what kind of point plays a result here. I don't know. We play in the league game, in the league structure. We play against boys, so it's the last with the under 17. It's the last year where they play like a youth league after because after this year it's over. They go to the second team of women's team and they play in the third league already. So it's the last year where they got challenged against boys. What's really challenging because they are physically very, very strong and they have more speed normally and more power. It's normal. So I can give you some insights from the last weeks. We got a new team, new characters together, and then we won the first game. Was a good game, and then we lost. I don't know, 6 games in a row. or maybe 5. And of course, the players are sad and they want to win. That's good to have this mentality. I didn't watch the table one single time, and luckily, my sporting director also don't care about the table. And what I say to the players is, hey, I take, I prefer to take a lose with a good performance of in a tactical shape, in a individual performance, instead of winning 1-0 and we play a really shit game. Especially last week, we won 1-0 and the game was really not good. Really not good. And I told them that. I don't care about results. I tell them every week. Um, and it's normal to lose sometimes against boys because when you watch the games, they play on results, so they play long balls and go in the 1 versus 1 in a running duel. So sometimes it's impossible to defend that. But right now, because when you develop individuals, the results come automatically. So we worked really good, and in the beginning, what I wanted to tell you at the beginning, it was a really challenging thing to build the team all together with the different age groups and the new characters together. So of course the results were not that good, but the training sessions were good, and they needed to adapt to my coaching style, to my identity, so how I am as a coach. So it's new for them. So we need to give them time. And after 6 weeks, after their losing phase, because we trained really good, the results came automatically. Suddenly we won. Suddenly we played a good game. Suddenly we won even when we don't play that good. And right now we won the fifth game in 4 weeks. We went in the DFB Pokal in the quarterfinal. So it's and it just happens when you focus on developing. The training sessions are so important. The motivation, the self-confidence, to build the self-confidence, and you build it with good actions, with good exercises, with good moments. So that they are focused on, hey, I have a really challenging situation, but I can handle it because of my skills, the skill set. So this takes time. This needs patience, and this sometimes belongs to the results, but mostly it's 50-50 because the,
Mm.
the opponent sometimes have better players. Sometimes, yeah, you don't feel well on one day. So in your football, it shouldn't be allowed to, yeah, you should measure results, but you shouldn't focus on it primary.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, like what you told right now, also with the confidence, it stuck in my head because I always coach my players on the psychology part. They say, I want to be more confident in the game. And I say, like, okay, how intense you train, right? You
Mm,
train like in the train, like in the game. They, nah, no, no. Sometimes I do just 70, 80% that I have enough power. And I'm like, no, like train like you are playing. Because then
mm,
you have the confidence to do maybe the same intensity and come like with the mentality, hey, I can do that. I
mm.
have this edge. How, like, I think there's also a lot of mentality, and you mentioned before, is a lot of psychology. How is your approach on mental strength in football in general?
Ooh, mental strength is a big part, a big, big part. Performing under pressure, how you deal after losings, how you perform and how you motivate yourself after losings, yeah, it's so important. Um, I mentioned already that in women's football there's I don't know, a certain part or a special part is that they are not that confident like boys, and because of this fact, I try to work with them in a mental way, to train their mentality, and it's easy tasks. For example, I have a player. She's not talented, gifted, she's not the number 10 Messi or so. She's a hard worker. She loves to play football, but she's from her shape. She's not the tallest. She for her it's really hard. And in this year, in the first 5 months, it's even more. It's even harder because she realizes that the gap is going bigger. And yeah, because of this, the motivation and the confidence goes sometimes a bit low. And she's one character. I think every coach and every person in football knows these characters. When she loses a one-on-one or she has a bad situation, the head is down.
Mm.
Head is down and the shoulders. So I talked to her. I speak a lot with her. I showed her during the video analysis, in the individual analysis, I showed her the situations. And in training sessions, I tell her, hey, Nelly, right now I dropped the name, but it's just the first name. A special task for you. Every time after a situation in training, I want that you smile to me. Simple. And she, at the beginning, of course, she was like, why? And no, it's stupid and funny. And no, I just want you to smile in my direction. And I did this. And the first 3 to 5 situations she forgot, of course, but I always mentioned, hey, Nelly, smiling. And then it happened. And today, I tell you, she played a game. It's outstanding. Outstanding game. Just because she's a hard worker, she tries to defend every time. She tries to find solutions in the offensive way. She plays on the winger side, and we just play with one winger per side because we play in a 3-4-2-1. So just one winger on the side. So she needs to run a lot, and it's a really, really hard job for her. And the performance this day, these are the big moments for me as a coach. Because normally like this, and today she was in the lineup because I wanted to give her some trust and hey, you worked on it this week. You laughed in the training sessions. She was very powerful. So I wanted to give her a sign. So you did a good job like this. And then she played such a fantastic game. Amazing.
Mm.
That's amazing. And these little tools you need to have as a coach. You need to, and every player is different. You need to have the feeling, okay, what is the need of the player? Maybe this works for her, but for another player it doesn't work. And I have another example for like mentality. She is one of the best talents in our club. She's 15 years old, trained already with the first team. Amazing talent, technically, but I would say lazy. So everyone knows this character too. Yeah, what do I do to challenge her? Maybe under 17 is not enough. I put her twice a week to the under 20. Simple as that. So
Mm.
there is no space for hey, I do 50% because otherwise they kill her. Because they are older compared to her 3 to 4 years older. So the intensity is of course higher. So power there. Power there, go to the training session of under 20. If you think you can come there with 50%, it will not work. So, and this is the other example for mentality with a different character. And you need to find 20 methods because every player, and this is the best thing on this job, every character is different.
Mm. Yeah, I love that approach. Like literally, I love that because, like, from my experience, you're like the one of the only who's implementing psychology in the trainings with small ingredients without telling it's psychology, right? And that's the magic behind to understand, like, because I remembered I was watching with a friend Real Madrid against Dortmund,
Mhm.
and it was a crazy game because Dortmund was like leading 2-0. And
Last year,
yeah, last
I
year,
was in the stadium too.
5-2 at the end. It was crazy. I remembered Rüdiger, he received the second goal, and instead of putting his head down, he goes in the corner and say like up, up.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
like the arousal level, and that's the interesting part. You need to like certain arousal level to perform perfect. But if you have like these defeats, it goes drops down. And if
Mm-hmm.
your head and your shoulders are go, your oxygen cannot go into.
Mm-hmm.
And if you increase it, it will give you much more power. And it's like physiological. And if you can implement that in the training session, they will adapt the same in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like so fascinating that you could see today. And it gives me goosebumps if you have like these moments with the players because
Yeah,
you were patient and you put like these small things in. Amazing.
yeah,
Like,
really
and,
nice. And it's so
and all,
important.
yeah. Okay. I was thinking you would add on something.
No, 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 sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, all good. I was saying that like at the end, they won 5-2. Like this bouncing back
Mm-hmm.
factor to don't give up after this mistakes. Amazing. What would you say in general? Which kind of advices you would give coaches? They are right now starting out where they should focus.
Mm-hmm. Well, it depends where you want to go. It
Let's
depends.
say they want to be your path, because I think you can give the best advices from your perspective.
Yeah, I think the first thing is to be diligent, so that you are very, very interested in develop yourself. So see how many different clubs you can see. So go watch, make your own identity. So be clear and be aware what kind of football you want to train and for what you're standing for. And be, yeah, try to try to be diligent. Diligent means work every single hour. Try to
Mm,
develop, try to improve, and take in account that free time in football, especially at the beginning, is rare, really rare and low paid. Low
mm,
paid, unfortunately. But if you are diligent, if you work on your exercises, if you try to make the players better, if you um, work on your knowledge, everything together, then you have the best basic tools for being a coach. But take in account that it's not easy, that a lot of other people with a big knowledge, especially foreign players, are there and they have an easier step into the industries. So you need to, oh, that was always my idea. I knew I was a good player, but I just played in the third league in Austria, so I was no foreign player. So I need to be better than the foreign players who start as a coach in the first league directly.
mm,
I so that I always knew that, and I always was very interested in tactics and to find a way to play the perfect game in football. And if you're focused and have one mission, go, 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 go the extra
mm,
mile.
mm. What would you say? Who's your role model? From coach's perspective, like which
Mhm.
coaches you say, oh, okay, I like him, and I want to have some parts to learn from him.
Yeah, I think the classic answers are very boring, so I don't take them. I had when I was 16 to 19, I had a very, very good coach, really. And the basic, like the ground of my coaching style is all copy paste by him
Mm,
because he was not, he was technical good, but he wasn't an expert.
mm,
But I don't know, when I think back to this time, it was a perfect world because he developed me as a player so good. I was a really difficult player with a difficult mentality, hard to handle, I would say. And he made something out of me, out of my character, which was, in my point of view, the best way. And he was tactical. He teached us the basics, but the basics in a perfect way, like how you defend in the back four, how does a 4-4-2 working. So like basic stuff, but in a
Mm.
perfection. And he was very oriented in discipline as well, like me. So it's a bit more or less the same. And I would say he is my role model. It was when maybe he will listen to interviews some one day someday.
What is his name? Let's give him a
Michael,
shout out.
Michael Michael Auer. I
Michael.
I think he will. He's still coach, but at one day I can drop it. I disappointed him because he was. I think 18 in the first team, and I got an offer from the third league. And 3 weeks ago, I didn't have the offer, and he wanted to plan with me in winter break, and he asked me, "Hey, you stay or you go? I need to plan the squad." And I told him, "No, I will stay. I don't have any offers." But 3 weeks after, the offer came, and I decided to go. And then he never spoke with me again.
Oh.
And after I think 7 years, when I was coach, when I played for the relegation in the first league with the women's team, he went as a visitor without saying anything, but he was sitting um, in the stadium, and I saw
Yeah.
him, I recognized him, but he didn't say hello or something. So yeah, he is my role model. And of course, you have a lot of great coaches right now. I think for me, when you take the greatest and the biggest, for me, a very 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 good player coach is Oliver Glasner
Mm.
from um, well, where is he now? South now, Crystal Palace. Sorry,
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace. Yeah, very good guy. And I had the privilege to talk with him 3 years ago, 2 years ago, during a coaching license um, journey. Yeah, he's a very good coach, but of course, Jürgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho, they all have, yeah, perfection in their blood.
Mm.
But Oliver Glasner, I really like. I really like, and uh, because I talked with him and he explained a bit his philosophy to me, and I can recognize it through the TV. So for me, this is very excellent with this squad.
Mm. Amazing. Yeah. Shout out to Michael, right?
Yeah, Michael. Michael
Michael.
was a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. I would say like the last question is always the same question.
Mm.
It's like when you and I today would die, which kind of leading advice or some kind of message you would give the youth?
Pah! Hopefully, we will live for another 50, 70 years.
Yeah.
Um, but to enjoy your life and to act like you don't regret. And a lot of players, a lot of play. I teached a lot of players. I trained a lot of players who were very talented, and I spoke to them in this time. Hey, you need to do more, like the,
Mm.
the same stuff. You need to do more because in 10 years maybe you will regret. And every time when the players didn't perform 100% and to do more, and they didn't achieve the high level from all these players, I got a message afterwards. You were right. So enjoy your life, but act that you don't regret in 10 years.